everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Jennifer, and thanks so much for joining me today. Today we're going to be playing with some new makeup, and some of it is new, as in it's just come on the market. Some of it is relatively new, like holiday collections, and some of it isn't even here yet. Yes, you are reading that correctly. This is the Chanel Sublimage foundation, which technically is not available in the United States. And I'm gonna go into a little story about why I have that foundation, but we'll get into that in a second. I have nothing on my face yet. I don't even have my brows done. I am going to use the Sublimage today all over my face. Obviously, I'm gonna do my brows with my Gucci brow pencil because that's what I just keep using. I'm gonna use the Melt Cosmetics in Raw Honey, which I picked up, I think I mentioned this in the Sephora sale because, or maybe it was the Will I Buy It, I don't remember, because I gave in basically and I'm weak. And then everyone was talking about it and I was like, shoot, so I picked it up. I don't know how well this is gonna work on me, guys. It looks pretty, it looks very pink. We'll find out. I'm gonna use the deeper shade as a blush, and I'm gonna use this as a highlighter. I have a bunch of new highlighters that I'm gonna try out as well. I'm gonna have a bunch of playing with new makeup videos. They're on their way. I also picked up the Guerlain Terracotta Golden Bee bronzer because, again, I'm weak. And when I did that Guerlain video about a full face of Guerlain, I said I wasn't gonna pick this up because I felt like it was probably gonna be too deep for me unless you guys really thought I should pick it up. And then I got a bunch of messages where everyone said, you really should pick it up. So I did. That's kind of the end of that story. Don't say. Then the Natasha Denona Peak palette. This is the one that was in the BoxyCharms. So my understanding is that these are not new shades, like these are existing shades in other palettes, but I do like them in this particular combination. I think it's nice for fall, and I do like these shades. This is something I could actually see myself traveling with. I do like the Natasha Denona formula. I think this will be fun to use, and we'll go with this sort of, you know, theme today. I also have the Gucci lipstick in Agatha Orange in the, now I forget what this is called. Like there's a different type of formula. I'll figure it out before we get through this, but Glitter Lip, I think it's Glitter Lip. Now I have Agatha Orange in the sheer formula, and I now have it in this glitter formula. So here's it in the sheer formula, and then the glitter formula kind of looks like the First Frost by Tom Ford, but orange. So we'll see how that works. So before we get into the foundation, let me put on my brows while I talk to you guys about the Sublimage, okay? And why I have it, and more in depth what YouTube can be and what YouTube often is, and let's get philosophical here on whatever night this is gonna be. So first I wanna say, I put in my Instagram that this was something that I wanted, or maybe I put it in one of my Will I Buy It's or something. And then I put in my Instagram that it wasn't gonna be coming out in the United States. My Chanel rep here in Boston said, it's not coming out until next spring because there's been issues with shades or something. And I was like, okay, you know, I'll suck it up. It's not the worst thing to happen to a person. But I made a little post on Instagram about it, basically, you know, with a little crying character that I was sad that I wasn't gonna get my Sublimage. And this is where YouTube and social media and the more philosophical conversation comes in. I work in a business in real life, that is probably the most cutthroat, or maybe one of the most cutthroats in the world. And I am very familiar with different types of personalities who, you know, let's face it, aren't particularly nice people. And you definitely find that on social media and on Instagram. And on YouTube. There are people who just want to be mean. Unfortunately, there are people who are only about themselves and want to tell you how great they are all the time. And those people are usually very sad people who are trying to fill some kind of hole in their life by making you feel worse, or by touting how great they are, because let's face it, they don't feel great. So they need everyone to tell them how great they are, so they'll feel better. And that side of social media is one of the reasons that I actually put off starting my channel as long as I did. Because I am not a person who enjoys drama. I won't put up with it in my life, and I didn't want to invite it in. And I was concerned that, you know, I'd start a channel and I'd have to deal with all these prima donnas on YouTube, all these personalities, and that, you know, we would have people as part of the community who weren't, you know, positive people and were trying to bring others down. And I didn't want to be part of that. And as I said in my video where I talked about the YouTube community several months ago, when I got started, I didn't find that. I didn't find that negativity as much as I thought I was going to. I found some of it, and I'm sure we'll continue to, all of us, as we, you know, as we grow. I definitely found the narcissistic personalities out there, and those people exist, and that's fine. But what I also found, which is to me the more amazing, beautiful thing, is that there are people out there who don't know you, who have never met you, and go out of their way to help you. And I try to do that in my everyday life, my real life. But you know, it's hard because we're all busy and we all have things to do and we all, you know, are running around. But I was brought up to believe that's the way you are as a person. You help people not because you expect anything back, but because it's the right thing to do. But it's usually people you know, right? Or you've met somehow in person. I'm talking about people who reached out to me who I've never met, who I really don't know, who offered to get me this foundation, you know, just because they wanted to help. And I can't tell you how important that was, and what a reinforcement that was of all the good that is in the world. In my job, my real job, and my YouTube job, I find that I do run into a lot of people who, you know, want to talk about them. It's all about them, and it's exhausting, and it's disheartening. But then there are people like the person, and all the other people who offered, but the person who did this for me, who I offered to help in any way that I could, and this person was like, no, I just want to help you. I just want to do something nice. It's not a big deal for me. It absolutely was a huge deal. Not maybe necessarily in action, like, I mean, what I basically ordered it went to their house, they sent it to me, but just in, frankly, the kindness and the willingness to just help another person, just to be a nice, decent, helping person. And I'm not mentioning the person's name, and I'll tell you why. The reason I'm not mentioning the person's name is not because I don't want to give this person credit. I absolutely do. But I am concerned that other people who are less scrupulous will take advantage of this person, because this person's a really decent, good human being. And what I don't want to have happen is, because I mentioned their name, other people who I happen to know or follow me or whatever else take advantage of that good nature. So I'm not going to mention this person's name unless that person specifically wants to call themselves out. And if you do, that is totally up to you, and that is fine. But I certainly don't want to put you in that kind of position. And I'm going on a little bit about this because to me it's a really big deal. I mean, you know, let's face it, guys, social media in general, right, is about touting your fabulousness. I had the best sandwich ever. My hair looks better than yours. You know, whatever it is, which I've always disliked, to be very honest. I just don't see the point. Like, nobody has a perfect day. In fact, Keep Beauty Real, Kelly Rettenberg was talking about this the other day, and Wayne Goss was talking about it in his video about people filming with a filter. I don't understand why you're filming with a filter. I I understand why you do a headshot or a thumbnail with a filter, or you filter things, because you're trying to get people into your channel to watch your content, and something that's eye-catching is going to bring them in. That I get. And I'm very honest about it. When I do my thumbnails and stuff, yeah, absolutely, I'll take out some lines and I'll whiten my teeth a little bit or whatever to make the picture look a little bit better. But when I'm filming, there are no filters. You can see all the redness. You can see the imperfections. I got lines. I mean, we all do. And the whole point, I think, of you watching me and me watching other content creators is to see how it looks on a human being. If I wanted to see how it looked on plastic, I would do that. It's not helpful. So, but people are so afraid of not having the perfect day, not having the perfect month, not being the perfect YouTuber, mom, dad, whatever. There is no such thing. Nobody's ever gonna reach that, and you're gonna let yourself down if you're trying to reach those goals. Whatever you see on the cover of Vogue or YouTube or Instagram is not real. None of this is, I mean, even this right now, yes, I have no filters, and I got nothing on my face except for my brows now, but I've got lights here, I've got a mirror in front of me, and I trained as a makeup artist. I do have some skill in this area. And now I've been doing this for 7 months, a little over 7 months. So I've gotten better at it. My first couple videos were not particularly good. So, you know, there is a narcissism, I think, to many of the people that are in social media and on these platforms. And to find so many of you who are just kind, decent, good, supportive, lovely people is just, it just gives me, like, I know it sounds completely corny, but it makes me happy. It just makes me happy that so many of you exist. And I want to thank all of the people who reached out to offer to help. I want to thank all the people who are watching. I want to thank everyone who's subscribed to my channel and watches my channel. It just means the world to me that there's, I don't know, so much positivity. I think one of the reasons I'm kind of going on about this at the moment is just, you know, things have been really stressful lately with all the stuff with going on and politically and everything for my in real life job. And it's just refreshing. It's just really nice. So that was my long-winded way of saying thank you. And now you all get to see what this foundation looks like. Now, I know there are a couple of people who have already talked about it, especially people who are in Canada. I think it's available now on Harrods as well, which is kind of interesting because I didn't know it was going to be there originally. So this is the Sublimage L'Essence de Teint. I know I said that completely badly, but you know, someone will fix it for me. I have it in BR12. That is generally the color I go with. Hopefully it's close. It's 12 months, according to this. And of course, this is the Canada box. I don't know if it'll be different when it comes to the US. Who knows? And it comes like this in this glass bottle with a brush. We're gonna try the brush. We're gonna do the brush on one side, and then I'm gonna use my BK Beauty 101 brush on the other side because I think it's important to kind of see what it looks like. But I'm really, really excited about this foundation. I love Chanel, as I've mentioned a million times. I used to work for them, so you know, this is a big deal for me. I'm usually a big fan, and I actually like the Sublimage line. I mentioned I have a skincare video coming up. Like, I actually filmed it in my bathroom, guys. It's hilarious because I have like these very dark gray walls, and I have art up to like contrast with the dark walls, but where I filmed, all you see is dark gray. So it's, I have to figure out a better way to film next time for skincare. But anyway, I like the Sublimage line. When I used to work for Chanel years ago and they had skincare, I hated it. So, it's a little runny, a little watery, which is kind of nice. I like that. Color seems right for me. I've mentioned a million times, when I first put foundation on, it usually looks a little light. It's because of all the redness in my skin. My skin color, the underlying skin color, is actually quite a bit lighter than I probably look, but I think it's mostly because of the redness. It does have a scent. It's a Sublimage scent, actually, which is kind of what? Floral, but I can't put my finger on exactly what it is. It's some kind of floral. I shook it, as you saw, because it says right on the box, shake before use. I'm just looking to see if there's anything else that I'm missing. It says Ultimate Radiance Generating Serum Foundation. So we'll see. In this lovely box, there's the Chanel instruction manual in many, many languages. And basically it tells me to use it in an upward motion, you know, instead of a downward one. And then just talks a little bit about the foundation. I'm really looking forward to seeing what other people start talking about this. Allison Chase, and I'll link her information below, was the first person I believe to do this on, or at least who I watch. I love Allison's channel. If you're not following Allison, you should follow Allison. And she had some really interesting thoughts about it. She used to work for Chanel as well, so very familiar with the brand. All right, so we're gonna go in with this brush. It's a very dense little brush. It's interesting. It's like domed. You can see that. I'm gonna have to see if I can find out what the brush is made out of. I don't think it says on here anywhere. I wonder if it says in the little booklet. I'm gonna doubt it, but it'd be really interesting to see. Yeah, I can't read it in French. That's not gonna help me. Instantly illuminated. Pigments and film-forming polymers enhance foundation hold. The complexion looks even, satiny, and radiant. Well, I'll take that. Intense vanilla planfolia water from the signature ingredient of Sublimage helps maintain the quality of skin. Okay. The beans are from Madagascar. Water and its antioxidant power help to protect the skin from external aggressors. Okay, good, good. This is all good. I just don't see anything about the brush. Wash the brush with water and soap. Okay, I'll find out more about the brush. All right, so let's just go in and see how this brush works. Like I said, it's a very dense brush, so that seems to work, actually, seems to be going on well with the brush. Yeah, I mean, as you can see, seems to be blending well. I'm not always going in the upward motion that they, you know, told me to go in, so I'm in trouble. But I think I'll be okay. All right. Ah, that looks, well, that looks really nice. I love this foundation. I haven't even used it yet. Okay, so anyway, I do like the brush. I think that actually worked really well. I think it went on really beautifully. The brush, like I said, it's a very dense brush. I like the way it worked. It's smooth. It didn't irritate my skin. Let's try the BK Beauty brush, which is of course a much bigger brush and more of, you know, a slanted. This is the brush that I use. Anytime I put on foundation, I use this brush or I use a sponge. Pretty much any other brush irritates my skin. That one, the Chanel one, did not, so that's interesting. Because I'm gonna assume it's synthetic. I don't know that. I will see what I can find out. Allison, if you watch this and you know, because Allison always knows these things, you know, please put a comment below, but I'll find out. But I think it probably is synthetic. Okay, although for the price point, it could be real. Yeah, the price point is a little high. It is more expensive in Canada than it is on the Harrods site that exists right now. I don't know what it'll be when it comes to the US, but I'll put down below the prices that I've seen. Okay, so I don't see a difference. Moving my mirror here a little bit. I don't see a difference between the two sides. I think they look the same, right? I mean, the brushes both worked perfectly well. I have to say, I actually like this little brush. It's interesting. It's soft, it's very dense. Almost like a kabuki brush, but with a dome, which is interesting. I don't think I've seen a brush like that. Okay. Well, it feels great. I mean, it's still a little tacky as I put all my germy hands on my face, but no, it feels nice. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna let that sort of dry down a little bit, and while it's doing that, let's talk about the other products that we're gonna use. Whoops. The Guerlain bronzer. Again, this is part of the holiday collection, the Golden Bee. I'll swatch it for you. I did a whole video on this, and I will link it above, talking about all the other products in the Guerlain Golden Bee collection. And I actually really loved that collection. I liked the eyeshadow palette. I liked the meteorites. I liked, what else was in the meteorites, the eyeshadow palette. I feel like I'm missing something. Oh, the bee case, of course. The case with the bee on it, the special bee with the Swarovski crystals and the red lipstick. I actually loved everything in that collection. It was surprising to me because when I saw it online and I had heard some things, I was like, oh, maybe I don't want to pick it up. But actually, I really liked it. So, and then when you guys told me that I should get the bronzer because it wasn't as bronze as, you know, people said it was, you can see, I think that'll actually work on me. I mean, it is golden, but I think we'll make it work. All right, so now the Melt Raw Honey. This was totally a, you know, you made me buy it kind of thing. Not you, I'm not blaming you. I'm an adult, but you all basically said it was really, really pretty and that I should go out and get it. So I was like, all right. So this is the deeper color, the blush. You know, on me that could actually even be a bronzer. It is pink, but it has this like interesting brown undertone to it. And then I'm gonna use this as the highlighter. I'll just go in very lightly with it, but it could be a blush as well. It's just, it's very golden in tone, but I actually like it. This reminds me a lot of the Pat McGrath highlighter and the Chanel blush. In fact, let me pull that out really quick and let's take a look. So here's the Chanel Holiday Blush. Here's the Raw Honey. Let's swatch it and see what we get. Let's put it like this so you guys can see it like right on top of each other. Oh, that's interesting. It's very similar. This is the Chanel. That's the Raw and Raw Honey. Look at that. This one has more sparkle. The Melt has a lot more sparkle, but the shade is very similar. And again, I'm not saying it's an exact dupe, it's not, but it's similar, very similar in shade. The Chanel just has much less like sparkle to it. All right, so let's do my trusty Tom Ford bronzing brush. Let's use the Guerlain here, Guerlain. And I'm gonna be careful with it because as we said, it's, you know, a little bit bronzier, browner, golden than I usually like in my bronzers. Although I will tell you guys, when I started using bronzers, and I can't even remember when that is now, most of them were more this shade. The reason that I became so addicted to the Tom Ford bronzer in Terra is because it was like the only cool tone bronzer that existed. In fact, I just picked up a bunch of Terra bronzers from the off 5th sale. There was a bunch of them that were available. I don't know if they're still available, but you should check out off 5th because I was like, I'm gonna pick them up because I love Terra as a bronzer, and I have been seeing less of it lately, which makes me nervous. I've seen a lot of things lately that have started to make me nervous. Like, I'm like, are you discontinuing that? Don't discontinue that. All right, so we're gonna go in with the highlighter first. I'm gonna use the Wayne Goss Artist Brush. In fact, I was told that the Tom Ford Lost Cherry fragrance is being discontinued. Can somebody like verify that for me? I mean, I could just reach out to my Tom Ford rep, I guess, but if it's being discontinued, that's a problem. I'm gonna have to buy, I have a backup bottle of the Lost Cherry, but I'm gonna have to buy like 2 or 3 of them, and that's expensive. Okay, Classic Cheek by Sonia G, and we'll go in with this blush. Yeah, Yeah, it's a really pretty blush. It's just that it's very sparkly. And the thing about very sparkly, and I'm gonna take my, hold on, many brushes. I'm gonna take and my brush video is coming up, Face 1 brush, and buff this in. The problem with sparkly, nothing's wrong with sparkly. I'm not trying to be down on people who like sparkly. I get it. You like something a little bit more blingy. There's nothing wrong with that. Except as you get older, and I'm not trying to say everyone, but generally as you get older, the really blingy, shiny, you know, I'm looking for the right word, kind of highlighters and blushes and stuff accentuate texture. They can accentuate more mature skin. And so just be aware of that. The Chanel, the luxury brands, again, not always, the luxury brands like Chanel, Guerlain, Clos de Peau, Chantecaille, Wayne Goss, actually, are more friendly to every type of skin type. The other brands have great products, but they don't necessarily take into account an, quote, older skin. Don't get me wrong, there are 48-year-olds who look 20, and there are 20-year-olds who look 48. I'm just saying, as your skin matures, as it ages, generally you have more texture, more skin damage, more sagging. Not always, but a lot of the time. So that is actually one of the reasons, I mean, I always loved luxury makeup, partially because I worked for Chanel, but I was somebody who really liked, I don't know, the elegance of it. But that is one of the reasons I have moved away from a lot of brands that I used to love. It's because my skin has changed. And I find, this is just me, that many of the luxury brands cater to that demographic a little bit better. All right, so I think my skin is nice and good, nice and dry. That's not the word I'm looking for. Okay, yeah, I'm so excited over the Sublimage, and I'm so like overwhelmed by the kindness of this person that my brain has shut down. Okay, so let's just do Natasha Denona. I am not gonna go into great detail about this palette, guys, because as we've said, first of all, it was only available in, let me try to get this off my hand. It was only available in the BoxyCharm, but these shades do exist. That's my understanding. And they, you know, they're really pretty, and I'm definitely gonna love them and play with them a lot, but they are not something new. You can find them in the other palettes. I love Natasha Denona. I've loved Natasha Denona for a long time. I think her palettes are awesome. And when I saw this, who's the person? Beauty by Camellia. I'll be honest, I forget who first showed this to me, but when I saw it, I was like, oh, that's a palette I'm really gonna like. And then I found out it was just gonna be available in BoxyCharm, and I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna get it. But then I was like, well, I'll get it anyway, because I really like these fall tones. I think they're really pretty. You know, I recognize, again, that we're not talking about anything new and revolutionary. But you know what? Not everything needs to be new and revolutionary. The shades are Aya, Jasper, Thorn. So let's do it this way. Aya, Jasper, Thorn. Sorry, I don't have my glasses. Amhara, and then this is Shine. So let's do a really quick look today. I'll bring you in a little bit closer, or a lot closer, you know. Well, that's the difference. Because really the star of today, I don't care what anyone else says or what anyone else thinks. I mean, I think the bronzer's pretty. The blush is a little too blingy for me, to be honest with you, the melt stuff. I will probably give that to somebody younger than me or somebody who really likes melt. It's not that it's not pretty, it's really pretty. I like the shade. As you saw, it's basically the same shade as the Chanel Holiday blush, and I love that blush. But it's too blingy for me. Like, it's too shiny for me. I want something a little bit more subdued than that. So we'll see. Maybe I'll play around with it a little bit more. Okay. But like I was saying, the star of today is the foundation. I love the way this looks on my skin. Love it. So happy. So happy. Okay, let's go in with a mini booster. Let's go in. Let's go in with this brown shade. What did we call it? Thorn. Okay, let's go in with Thorn. So this would be a good time, as I'm doing this, to talk about, you know, to do my shameless plug. I mentioned this before in another video. Cody Rigsby quotes RuPaul often. And Cody Rigsby's from Peloton, guys, if you don't know. If you're on Peloton, follow me. I am all feisty on Peloton. Would love to have you follow me there. I am not a great Peloton rider, but I do it for health and just, you know, relaxing. I find that working out helps me take off stress. I used to be a huge hot yoga fan, and I'm still a huge fan. I just can't go because COVID. So my Peloton has really become my way of working out. So if you're a Peloton rider, just look up All Feisty and you can follow me. You can see my, I'm 13 rides away from 200, something like that. And I do mostly, there's a bunch of people I ride with, but Cody Rigsby always makes me laugh. So as he says, my shameless plug to subscribe to my channel and follow me over on Instagram. Why do you say? Why is that important? Well, in order to, you know, make sure to bring you content and buy things like the $200 Chanel foundation, and show it to you all so that you can decide whether you want to pick it up or not. It's helpful to have people who actually subscribe to your channel and watch you. And so I do appreciate all of you. I mean, and all joking aside, I do appreciate everyone who does watch. And I understand not everybody's a subscriber. So if you don't want to subscribe, you know, I'm certainly not going to make you. But it does help the channel, and I appreciate everyone who does. There's going to be some fun stuff coming up. I know I've teased it before. I'm working on it. I want to try to bring you guys as much unique and interesting content as I can. You all deserve it. All right, so let's go in with, what shade was that one? Amhara. I should really use the fake glasses that I bought. They're not fake. They're readers. They're real glasses. They're just basically something I could have bought at CVS, but you know, I gotta be me. I'm just going into the corner and kind of making that a little bit more orange in tone. Yeah, I've got the skincare video from my gray bathroom, which you guys will crack up the way I filmed it. It's just, I was looking for a really good angle and there really wasn't one, so you'll just have a very gray background, but you know, that'll be all right because it's more about the products and how to use them and what I use than the background. Brush video coming up, all my favorite brushes, which is gonna be a very long video, sorry about that. And a couple of other maybe exciting new things soon. All right, so let's take this cream shade, put this in the, gonna use the KZ07, the light cream shade that was basically the same color as my skin, and put this up in the brow bone. So what I would love to hear from all of you is what you would like, if anything, for December. So basically my Christmas, Diwali, Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, I'm trying to think of any other holidays that exist in November and December. I'm not talking about Thanksgiving, but to say thank you, to celebrate all of you, what would you like to see on my channel? So there's a couple options. I mean, and I'd love to hear if you have unique ideas, because I sure don't. I could try to do a video every day, which would mean some videos would be pretty short, I gotta tell you. I'm gonna go back into that brown shade and use the Wayne Goss and number 5. I could do a giveaway in the month of December. We could try to figure out what would be a good giveaway gift. I am gonna do some other stuff that pertains to, you know, sales that are coming up and what to buy for holiday gifts and all that good stuff. And then of course the advent calendars. But if there's something specific that you'd like to see that's different for December, because for a lot of us, you know, December is a month of celebration, let me know and I will try to include it. All right, so the only shades I haven't used are the really orange one, which is Jasper, and then Shine. So Shine I'm gonna use all over my eyes. So let's take Jasper and actually put it down on the eyelid, and then we'll put the Shine over it. Let's go back in with the KZ07. Yeah, I don't know where, I mean, this year's been weird. Well, that's an understatement. But the year's been weird in the sense that it feels like every day is like 1,000 hours long, but it also feels like it was just March. Like, I don't know how to explain that. I don't know if it's the repetitive nature of every day, because, you know, we're not traveling or going anywhere, but every day feels like 10,000 hours long, but it also feels like the months went by like that. And I don't know how to explain that. It's a really weird phenomenon, because I was thinking about, you know, planning out stuff for, like I said, stuff that's coming and special stuff, and I was like, yeah, I don't think I'm gonna be able to get to it until December. And then I'm like, December's in like 10 days. Like, how did that happen? I'm not ready for December. All right, so let's go into the Shine shade. I'm gonna use my finger. It's a very soft shade. You can tell it's gonna have a lot of payoff, and it's just a really pretty gold. Yeah, I mean, you know, a lot of my friends have already started their holiday decoration for Christmas, and they started like a while ago, and I was like, yeah, I'm one of those people, I don't do holiday like before the next holiday, so I don't do Christmas before Halloween, and then I don't, you know, do Christmas before Thanksgiving. Like, it's just, I mean, you know, I try to keep it in like succession, if you will. But I get it. A lot of people are like, yeah, this year's been so bad. We want to decorate. We want to have, you know, some joy of the holidays. And I get that. I totally do. Plus, Christmas decorating can be fun. I mean, I'm one of those people, if I could do it, I would have like 7 trees and stuff everywhere. I love that stuff. I am very cheesy in that way. Love it. Love holiday decorations. I don't know why. I like Halloween decorations too. I think it's fun. Okay, so finished look. I really do like this palette. I think it's really pretty. Again, I know it's not anything revolutionary, and I know it's, you know, for a lot of folks, not boring, but, you know, just simple, but I really like it. I think it's really pretty. All right, so let me put on mascara. Do I have new mascara? No, because I already used the Armani. I already showed that to you guys. So let me use, like, I'll just use Dior or something like that. We'll do mascara, and then I'll show you the Agatha orange. Okay, so finished look with the Natasha Denona Peak eyeshadow palette. I don't have any liner on, and I'm wearing the Dior Over Curl mascara, which has fast become a favorite. I really love this foundation. I want to hug it. It's just really nice. I just think it makes my skin look really good. Like it just, I don't know. I mean, I think it makes it look like a little bit plumper. It kind of reminds me of the Guerlain and the By Terry, which the By Terry probably the most, which gives you like this glow, but not too glowy. It makes your skin feel like a little bit firmer, or it looks like it's a little bit firmer. I'm not saying it is, but yeah, it looks really good. I love the color. Color's perfect. The bronzer, the Guerlain bronzer, I actually think works well. I mean, I went in with the light hand, but I think it really is nice. And the Melt Raw Honey, guys, I'm not saying anything bad about it. The colors are fine. I just think it's a little too, of the blush, I think it's a little bit too blingy of a blush for me. But I'm not really a sparkly blush kind of person. I tend to like, not matte necessarily, but more like satiny type of blushes. I don't really like a blush that is like a highlighter blush. The Chanel, when it came out, a lot of people asked me, they're like, does it accentuate texture? Because it's kind of like, you know, highlighting blush. It's this illuminating blush. But you saw it next to the Melt. I mean, it's much less shiny or illuminating than the Melt is. All right, so let's go in with the Gucci. So let me show you the swatches of these two. I hate to swatch this because it's just so pretty, but I gotta use it. There's no point if I don't use it. The Agatha Orange Glitter and then the Agatha Orange Sheer. So you can see the difference. Now the sheer is definitely, you can tell which one's which. The sheer is definitely up my alley because when I choose a color that is this bright, I like sheer because I don't want to be too over the top. It's just not my style. Nothing wrong with it, it's just not me. But I gotta tell you, there's a piece of me, because I think nobody is that simple. Like nobody is just like, oh, I only like, you know, this thing. Everybody is complicated when you really get to know them. And although most of the time I would tell you I am very much a Chanel, Chantecaille, Tom Ford kind of girl, where I like things a little subdued, a subdued elegance I would like to say about myself. Every once in a while, I want the really blingy, shiny lipstick. And so I saw this and I was like, I'm gonna get it. I might never wear it, but I want it and it's a lipstick, and why the heck not? So I'm gonna show you what it looks like on. Here we go. Now, first of all, you can feel the particles in this. Unlike the Tom Ford, which is more of just like a shiny balm, this you can feel the glitter, which is weird. I don't feel bad. I don't think this is gonna be friendly to really dry lips. I moisturized my lips really well before I did this because it's glittery and you can see it. Like it's more than just metallic. It's like metallic glitter. But I gotta tell you, I kind of like it. Like I have no idea where I would wear it. And for this look, it's like too much. But it's kind of fun. It's that side of me that likes, you know, the really shiny blingy thing, like the earrings, you know? It's too much, but I like it. I think on a deeper skin tone, this would be stunning. I think the Agatha orange in general looks good on a multitude of skin tones. And that's why it comes in a sheer, the glitter, the satin, and the matte. So you get to pick the kind of finish. I think this is a definite like over the top holiday party, you want to stand out kind of shade, especially in this glitter. In the sheer, it's not at all like that. But I think it's fun, and I'm glad I picked it up. I'm glad I have it in my arsenal for whenever I need it. Maybe the next time I do a Zoom call where I want to make sure people are paying attention, this would definitely do it. Of course, everyone would be looking at my lips the whole time. I'd be like, well, okay, at least I have your attention. Anyway, so that was fun. I love the foundation. Again, I want to thank the person who was kind enough to help me out with this. I could never repay you enough. So thank you. I really like the terracotta bronzer. The melt, I think, is a little too much for me, but we'll see. I know that sounds funny talking about the lips because the lips are definitely too much, but I don't know. I see lipstick as like more of like, if I was gonna do something outlandish, I would do it to my lips. Like I would wear like a blue lipstick, or I would do something fun because I feel like for me, I'd be like, oh, that's okay because it's like one little spot in your face. The blush, I think what it gets me about it is I just think it accentuates texture. And I don't really have a lot of texture on my skin, but you can't, I mean, you probably can't see it in these lights, but I think here where the blush is, my skin looks more texturized. And that doesn't happen with other blushes that I use. So, you know, I don't need to call attention to the fact that my skin is more mature. And I would prefer a blush, highlighter, that kind of stuff that doesn't do that. That's all I'm saying. But overall, I think the look is nice, and I like the Peak palette. If you guys got it in your BoxyCharm, awesome. If you're thinking about picking it up in some other way, again, the formula is really good. I think it went on beautifully. It's a gorgeous fall palette. If it's something that you want to have all these colors in, you know, one palette together to travel with or whatever, go ahead and pick it up. I think it looks really pretty on the eye, and I think it's a really good, I mean, it's any time of year, but it does call out fall, and it's my favorite time of year. So thanks so much for joining me today, guys. It means so much that you continue to tune in and watch, and I can't wait for all the fun we're gonna have with all the new stuff coming up. So I hope to see you in another video really soon. Thanks so much.